Hey everybody, it's John. Lots of folks had some success with Dataset and Glitch, but some folks didn't. Glitch didn't work out for their particular computer setup. So I wanted to show something that is actually super useful, not just for those of you who weren't able to use Glitch, but also anybody who wants to run Dataset on their own computer. You can follow along on these instructions if you go to bit.ly/your-dataset. And you'll go over to my GitHub repository where I've written out the instructions that I'm just about to show you. So let's walk through those. So I have a Mac, but if you have a PC, you're going to be able to do this too. But just so you know, mine is going to be a little bit different. The first thing that we're going to need to do is get to the command line. So on a Mac, that's the terminal, so I can just go into my Spotlight here up in the corner and pick terminal. That's what I want. So search for that, and I have my terminal. Yours is going to look different probably. I've customized mine because I like these colors. I'm going to make this text nice and big for you so you can see it while I type. Because we are going to be doing some command line things. It's a little nerdy, but most of this you only have to do once. So I hope this text can make even just a little bit bigger so it's full. Okay, hope you are able to follow along with that. So there's a couple of options if you're using a Mac to install Dataset onto your computer, which is what we're going to do. If you're using a PC, you're going to want to go to the command prompt. You're going to want to go to the command prompt and do this same thing. There's more details in the instructions in case you run into problems, you're not able to install it. There are several options, but I'm going to show you the two basic options that I hope will work for most of you. If you're on a Mac, you can use the command brew install dataset, and then you're also going to use the command brew install SQLite utils. So those are two commands. I'm actually going to use the second method, which is also the method you would use if you don't have a Mac, which is pip install dataset. So I'm going to do that, pip install dataset, and let that install. And a lot of mine is already loaded in because I've done this before. And then pip install SQLite utils. And get some text. This is, in my case, it's already been installed because I've done this once before. Yours will go out and get the software and get it all going. Okay, so I'm going to sort of clear this screen just by typing the word clear. Okay, and so we have a clear slate, and so now we're going to load in our data into our database, and for that we're going to use the SQLite utils, so SQLite utils, and we're going to insert data, so we say insert, and we're going to put it into a database called data.db, and I'm going to say dogs here. This is actually the table name that I want to create in the database, so it's going to put the data into the table name. And then the next thing I need here is the full file location for my data set. And you can see it's actually on my desktop over here. And so I need to have the full, what's called the path, which is the full name for this location right here. And depending on your operating system, you may have to do a little investigating and to figure out how to know what your full path for your file is. But if you have a Mac, there's a nice little trick where you can just drag the file into the terminal window, and it won't actually drag the whole file, it just drags the name of the file, and you can see it's wrapping around here, but it's located at users, John Keefe on my desktop, and that's the name of the file. And when we're done at the end of the line, before we hit enter, we do hyphen CSV, and we hit enter. And what that's going to do is load the CSV into a database that Dataset can play with. So we'll just wait for that to end. A little quirk here, it never actually hits 100%, at least not for me. It just gets to 99 and then it stops. It is done. If I hit enter, I'm done, so we're good. So that's something to watch out for. Later, if you're loading your own data, again, you're going to need to know the full path of the file here. But then you might want to just use a different table name. So if you're doing something about cars, call it cars or planes or whatever you might be doing. And then you will have a separate data table in the database. So that's all you'll need to do to load in that data. Okay, and then the last part is super easy. All you type is data set, because we have that command running now, and we say data.db. So we're going to just run dataset on the data.db database. And hit enter, and what it's done now is it's started a little server. This is actually a little web server running on my computer, and this URL right here, I'm going to just highlight it and then do copy, and then I'm just going to open a browser, a new Google browser, and just bring it in here, and I'm going to paste that URL I just copied from my terminal right there, and look at this. We recognize this. This is Dataset, and in fact, I have data, and I have the dogs table, and I can click on the dogs table, and there we go. There we go. We have our familiar dogs. These are the dogs from the database, and you're ready to run your SQL queries right in this window right here. And you can actually see that behind the scenes here, the little server is doing its work. That's what all of that is. Everything we do here happens in the background too, which is fine. So you have your own copy running right here. This is great. You can keep all of your data this way, and then you have Dataset powerfully right here. You don't have to rely on anybody else. Once you get this installed and running, it's available to you anytime you need it.